guys, it's Pinkstar and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be combining my May wrap up and my June TBR because I only managed to read 3 books in May, so the other 3 books I am rolling over to June, so I'm not actually doing a full TBR today, so I'm just going to be rolling over those books. And I'm also adding in one more because it's on my arc to read list that I want to read before the end of June because that's when it comes out. So yes, that's what I'm going to be doing today. Yeah, let's get on with the video. Alright, so first up in May I read A Heart of Bitter Poison. This is by Bryn Weaver and this is the second book to A Shadow in the Reaping, and I loved that book. I read it in like February I think, so this is the second one and it did not disappoint. It was so good. I love the main character. I love the way it's written. It's just kind of like a bit cheeky, it's fun, it's emotional, it's got a bit of adventure and excitement, and yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoy these books and I'm looking forward to the third one. I gave this a 4.5 stars out of 5 and yeah, what can I say? I just really enjoyed it and I highly recommend these books. I haven't heard anybody talk about them ever. I mean, it's quite new, but yeah, I would definitely recommend them if you like vampire stories and you want something a bit fun and there's a bit of romance, but it's like not the main thing, if you know what I mean. Like there's other plot lines and yeah, I don't know, it's just really good. Definitely recommend this one. Alright, next I read The Witcher. This was the first of like the main books. This is Blood of Elves and I did enjoy this one again. Yeah, it follows more of like Ciri than Geralt in this, so that's probably one of the things that I didn't like as much. I wanted a bit more Geralt. I don't know why. I just really enjoy his character, but this shows us a lot of Ciri, which is quite cool. We get to see her training like with the witches, and we also get to see her do some magic training as well with Yennefer. So I did really enjoy this. I gave it 3.5 stars, which is the same as the last one I think I read. It's just, I think I want a bit more. Like, I want more from this. I want more Geralt. I want more Dandelion. Yeah, I want to see some more of Geralt with Yennefer and some more interactions with Ciri and Geralt and just, I don't know, some more stuff about the world. It just wasn't enough in this. I know it is the first book, so we did get a little bit of politics with the Wizard Council and also with all the kings and the different lands and how they are going about Nilfgaard taking over and etc. So I don't know, I definitely think this is a good series, but I want a bit more, so we'll see what happens. Obviously there's like another 7 books I think, so yeah. And lastly in May I read The Woman in the Library. This is by Sue Hilary Gintel, I think. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but this was a 4-star rated book for me. I really enjoyed it. It was different to anything that I've read before. So this is a mystery book and I don't usually read like murder mysteries that often. I'm more like fantasy, if you know me. I read a lot of fantasy, I read some romance, the odd other book, but yeah. This was a mystery and it was actually really well done. I really enjoyed the way it was written. So it was written with these letters to the author who's writing the story by like a fan. So he's like writing letters to her and giving her, and she's sending him back each chapter of her manuscript, and the manuscript is obviously the story, but then the main character in the story is also an author, so it's like a story within a story within a story. It's very interesting. So yeah, there's this murder mystery story that this author is writing, and the fan is like giving back information in between, and yeah, it's just really interesting because you've got two different kind of storylines. So one's like more real life sort of thing, and then the other one is the actual like story that's being written. And it took me a little bit to get into because I thought the story was about the character who was writing the story, and the story that the character was writing was the murder mystery, but it was like the other way around. I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but it is really good. And it really kept me guessing like the whole time as to who was the murderer. So it all starts off with a scream in the library, and then a person turns up dead in the library. And one of the four people in the story apparently is the murderer, and that's what you find out in the first chapter, and then it goes from there. There were a couple of bits that were a little bit slow, and I kind of wanted a bit more like library action. I don't know, woman in the library, but it was just literally the library was like the first bit, and that was kind of it, and then it kind of deviated, but it was really well done. And you kind of think it's one person for ages, and then you think it's someone else, and then you're not 100% sure, and then there's these other characters that get introduced. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. It was fun. So yeah, that was that one. Alright, the other books that I was supposed to read last month that I didn't get to was The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, so I will be reading this one in June. Also, Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know. I think I butchered that every time. Yes, haven't read this one yet, so we'll be reading that in June. And the other book that I did have on my TBR for June was Fire with Fire, but I ended up switching that out for Saul Avanis. So this is a World of Warcraft book, and I received this in the middle of May, so I just like switched the two books because the card that I pulled for Fire with Fire was for a standalone book, and this is also a standalone book, so you know, it fit to swap them, so I swapped it out, and so far I'm really enjoying this book. So like that far through, really enjoying it. So yeah, this is my first one that I'm reading in June. Alright, lastly for June, I added The Final Strife. So this is an ARC book that I wanted to read by the end of June because it comes out, I think, the 26th. I could be mistaken. But yeah, so I really wanted to read this one as well. So yeah, that's what I'll be reading, and if I have time for anything else, I will add them on and, you know, go over them in my wrap up for June. But yeah, that is currently all the books that I'm reading at the moment. I've been a bit slow with the reading, but anyway, I hope you still enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and as always, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more from me in the future. And I will catch you guys all in the next one. Bye.